everybody. Welcome to our church. Good to see so many of you tonight. Our medium tonight is Brenda Hodgson. Evening, Brenda.
Good evening.
And online, waiting in the wings for those who are watching, we've got Claire Pasterfield, who will take over later. I'll now ask Brenda to open in prayer for us, and that will be followed by the Lord's Prayer.
Thank you. Can you do it? Have I got it on?
You have. Well done.
Proves how much I trust you.
Right.
Good evening, everybody. If you join me in prayer. Divine Mother, Father God, as we open this service tonight, I ask for a golden light to surround the whole of this sanctuary, encompassing each and every one of us here tonight. We send out love, compassion, the will to do good, peace, positive abundance, freedom, and God's blessings to each and every sentient being upon the earth. We send out love and healing to the children, for they truly are the most precious gift given to mankind. We pray for the animal kingdom, both domesticated and the free. And we give thanks to Mother Nature for all that she gives to us, for all the food, for the water, for the sunshine and the rain. And we ask that Mother Earth be surrounded with love, light and healing hands. Father God, as I stand here before you, I pray that I be used as a channel, passing on the truth of eternal life to all people seeking the truth. And may we have a joyful, happy evening, filled with the love of Spirit. Amen. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
I will now light our church candle and invite those of you who are watching us online, if you can, to light your own candles at home. As we do this, I invite you to ask your loved ones in spirit to draw close to us now, so that we may feel their presence and their love all around us. May this candle be the light to enlighten us all. May it be the light of strength and love that spreads all around the world. The fire that enables us to burn out all our pride, our selfishness, and the impurities that are within us. May it be the flame that brings warmth into our hearts, warmth towards our families, our neighbours, our friends, and all those around us, and all those we meet on our life's journey, and all those who need it most. I ask you now to join me in sending out our love and light to all those in need of healing, Loving thoughts and prayers create a strong healing energy that can reach all around the world to all the people in all the places that need it most. I'll begin by reading the names from our church healing list and then offer a healing prayer. Now our prayers are asked for Ben, Lucy, Maxie, Sonic the Bird, Kim, Linda, Alan, Joan, Veronica, Heather, Sammy, Kelly, Annabelle, Bobby, Holly Dance, Luella, Will, Bonnie, Kathy and Vicky, Sonia, Holly, Tony, Elfie and Callie, Darren and Darren, Claire, Lorraine, Lorna and Casey. And online I'm picking up Karen and Tony, and I think that's everybody. We join together now to send out our healing thoughts and love and light around the world to all those in need of healing, both physically and emotionally, and we ask that they will all reach and protect our animal kingdom and the world of nature that is all around us. We pray that our energy may reach those who are cold or homeless tonight, and all those less fortunate than ourselves, wherever they may be. May our thoughts and energy tonight bring love, calm and peace to everybody. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour. Amen. We'll now have a 1 minute silence so that you can send out your own personal thoughts and prayers to all those in need, those whose names have been read tonight and any that you may think of privately now. This will be broken by the singing of the hymn, Gracious Spirit, the words of which are in the front of your hymn books.
Gracious Spirit of thy goodness, hear our anxious prayer. Take our loved ones through our suffering, with thy tender care. Loving Father, hear us, hear us. Gracious Spirit, may thy presence shed a healing rain, turning all their nights of darkness into glorious day. Loving Father, hear us, hear us. precious Spirit shall proclaim them, lead their light and guide. Lead them to the heavenly kingdom, safely by thy side. Loving Father, hear us, hear us.
I'll now ask Peter to bring us our Bible reading for this evening.
It's over there. Hello, Brenda. Nice to see you again. Evening, all. Nice to see a lot of you here again. And as I say every week, it's made up with your angels. That is a truth, because they never leave you. They're going to be with you all the time. And we know that they're there in this particular church because we feel them. Every week, my readings come from the New Testament, perhaps because it is of now, today, and the future. But sometimes it helps to look back at the Old Testament of yesterday. This week, I've looked at both Testaments to see if it helps to go deeper into the words. The words that I'm looking at tonight are, if you are led by Spirit, you are not under the law. Meaning Moses' law and God's commandment. And it can clearly be seen that God's commandment covers all the Moses laws and more under the broad statement of loving God and your neighbour. Also, the story of Exodus shows us that God will also lead us out of our troubles when we seek his help. We do this when we say the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our trespasses, or where we've done wrong or gone wrong. But of course, we need to be sincere in what we seek. Tonight's reading is about looking for the meaning behind those words in the Bible. Searching our Bible, reading each week for items that might be interesting to the members can have its difficulties, and often I need to wait to be inspired before I get going, and guidance always seems to come. This is often triggered by a few words, coming together almost asking for further investigation. This week was no different. The words of last week's reading attracted me. They were, if you are led by Spirit, you are not under the law. A question, what does this mean? As I said last week, the wording of the Bible are concise, brief, but comprehensive, and we need to seek the depth of their meanings. To start, we look at the Bible as two parts, Old and New Testament. We see if both are met by the introduction of our Spirit. We see in the second book of the Old Testament, the Ten Commandments, often called Moses' Law, enforced by the power of God to control the multitude of people, prohibiting certain actions, although God's command was to deal with the situation of the times. It is everlasting and exists today. In the New Testament, Matthew 23, we have the greatest commandment, very brief, embodying the whole of the additions of the new words of the neighbour, meaning brotherly love. You cannot harm your brother with love. Then what is meant by led by the Spirit, which makes the link? The first I know of Spirit is St. John 14, when Jesus promises us the Holy Spirit. There are many places in the New Testament of living with the Spirit and the wisdom of Spirit, that if we live by the wisdom of Spirit, all laws will have been met to God to all nations and local and controlling social rules. Therefore, if you're led by the Spirit, you're not under the law. The answer to our question is spiritual universal love. It's the greatest there is. Finally, at Pentecost, each year our spiritual strength is refreshed by the power out of God's love to his people. Tonight's readings is from Exodus 20, Matthew 22 and St. John 14, remembering our promise to God. Exodus 20, the 10 Commandments. And God spoke all these words. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or in the earth beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sins of their parents to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing love to 1,000 generations of these who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord our God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labour and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall do no work, neither you, nor your son or daughter, nor your male or female servant, nor your animals, nor even foreigners residing in your towns. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, but he rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honour your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land and Lord of God. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not give false testimony against your neighbour, you shall not covet your neighbour's house, you shall not covet your neighbour's wife or his mate or his female servants, his ox, his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbour. And in Matthew 22, the greatest commandment, hearing that Jesus had silenced the seducers, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in law, tested him with the question, Teacher, which is the greatest command in law? Jesus replied, Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and the greatest commandment. And the second is like this, love your neighbour as yourself. All the laws and prophets hang on these two commandments. We are going to St. John 14, Jesus promises the Holy Spirit. If you love me, keep my commandments, and I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to help you and be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. The world cannot accept him because it neither sees him nor knows him. But you know him, for he lives with you and will be in you. Finally, the spiritual truth is fully explained by Jesus in the Lord's Prayer when we renew our commitment to God. Please think about that when you use that prayer. God bless and thank you. You robbing me again. He's nicked it.
It's now time for us to say goodbye to those of you who are watching us online and hand you over to Rob and Claire, who will guide you through the rest of this evening's service. And we thank you for being with us tonight and look forward to seeing you again soon. Our second hymn is number 12.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on this evening and having me, and especially to Peter's prayer and reading. So before we start our period, or should we say our time of doing mediumship, having connections with life after life, our past loved ones, I thought I'd just like to do an address. Now, this is an address that Spirit kind of gave me a lesson yesterday, but it is a lesson that I feel that many of us could grow from. At times, when we're following our path, the life we choose, whether it's a spiritual one, whether it's life choices, a career, family, we at times come across people who will challenge our thoughts, who will challenge our emotions. And it's so easy to allow their thoughts and their feelings, their opinions to impact us. It can help us have our faith, or help us, it can cause for us, to question our faith in ourselves, our faith in Spirit. And the message from Spirit last night was, okay, we're going to get you to learn how to deal with this challenge. And the first thing is to believe in yourself. Know that the choices that you are making, they're right for you. And that although there are people out there that will question your judgments, will question your choices, your life choices, decisions, if you are following your heart and you are truly following the messages that you're receiving intuitively from Spirit, to know that you are being guided by Spirit. And there are at times where you may well have to challenge these individuals, their thoughts, their feelings. And again, Spirit just asks you to know, to stay in your power, to know that you know the right words to say. You will say the right thing in the right way because you truly believe in yourself, in your own beliefs. And Spirit also teaches us as well to reach out to our friends and family, those that truly matter to us, that love us unconditionally. Because sometimes we just need friends and family around us in times of hardship, in times of darkness, in times of doubt. And just listen to their views of you to help you feel confident and grow. And that's what happened to me yesterday. I reached out to my community and they all come back and gave such loving thoughts and feelings. They reminded me of why I had followed my path and the gifts that I give. And they reminded me of how special and cherished I am. So I'm here this evening to remind you, if there are times when you are feeling doubt, you're feeling your faith is being challenged, just know that Spirit and me and your friends and family will always support you in the decisions that you need to make. So I hope that has given somebody a bit of comfort. I know it helped me yesterday, and today I've woken up feeling I'm not going to allow people to get to me. I'm going to follow the faith I want. And it is just truly stand up and just be who you're meant to be. So with that, I shall now move into our platform and have evidence of life after life. Now, some of you may know me, you may see me at the church, you may see me on different public platforms. So as I said, my name is Claire, you can see the name, obviously we've just had a little chat. And how I work is I work directly with yourselves. I allow your family members and friends to come through. I allow them to use my energy in however they like to be. And I like to be very natural in the way I work, purely because we are all individuals. And if we are individuals down here, why are we not an individuals upstairs? Although I do remember the lovely David reminding us last week that why do we always say we go upstairs? Luckily, we don't go downstairs, he said. So I will come to you. What I'll just ask you to do is just to confirm yes, no, Claire, and you're more than welcome to say you haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. I will come to yourselves. If I don't understand something, I will put my hands up and say, I don't understand. And I'll ask you not to stretch. I try not to stretch. And if I don't understand, I'll say, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. However, I have come to learn that it's always good to give everything to yourselves because it may well be relevant to yourself. Right. Okay, we've done that bit. Should we now move on to the part that we all would like to see is the mediumship? Right, okay. So if you would like to have your connection with your past loved ones, please by all means comment below and I will just come direct to you. Just know that if I don't come to you this evening, it isn't because your past loved ones aren't with you. I can assure you they're all in this room with me. It is just the fact that there is only a short period of time and there's only one of me. Right, okay, where are we going? Okay, Fiona Rosen, this is where I worry about saying your names. Fiona Rosen, I'd like to come to you. I do presume that if you commented, you're happy for me to come to you, but I'd like to come to you if that's okay. Right, Fiona, I've got somebody's having a celebration. I haven't figured out who I'm chatting to just yet because the first thing I've been given is a ring. Right, hello, Fiona. I've got a ring going on here. So I don't know if somebody's recently got married or whether there is an anniversary coming up. Come on, talk to me. Right, the person that comes through as he's coming into his energy, he makes me feel like his dad. I generally only ask, am I correct with the relationships? I will ask, is dad in spirit? Because this is the feeling he is giving me. If it's not dad, it would be granddad, but I feel like I'm with dad. And as I said, I've got a celebration or a ring that I need to pass over to you. Right, so what else would you like to? I need to give you the month of February as a birthday, passing or anniversary, Fiona. So February, I've been told, is important. Your dad is in spirit. Okie dokie, brilliant. We are with who we are. That's good. I always worry. That's the one thing I worry about. So I have got February as a birthday, passing or anniversary. What other months would you like to give me, sir? I've also need to talk about July as being important. Again, a birthday, passing anniversary. And what other month would you like to give me? They generally give me 3. What's the other month you want to give me? They talk to me about November is important. Birthday, passing or anniversary. So these are the first 3 months they've given me. As your dad comes through and he comes through with his energy, he does come across as I would say July, brilliant, thank you. I would say he's quite a cautious man in the way he comes forward with his energies. I can feel him around me. Oh, brilliant, you can take them other months. Brilliant, thank you. I can feel him around me, but I feel like there's a slight hesitation with this gentleman. Now, I don't feel like this is what he was like in his personality and his character. However, he does give me a feeling that he was a bit of a skeptical gentleman because he's kind of just checking out what's going on. It's a little bit like, we'll see is what he's coming through with. Right, I've got to give you the name Peter. I've just asked him as he's starting to warm up to me is how I feel with him. I need to give you the name Peter as well. So he's just given me the name Peter. What else would you like to talk to me, sir, before we start moving into your messages? Right, okay. Somebody's been talking about you want to give me another name? Okay, I've got to give you the name Robert. So I've got the name Peter and I've got the name Robert. If you can't take Peter or Robert, that's not a problem. If you know somebody of a gentleman whose name starts with P, it still felt like a Peter, but I noticed you can't take Peter. If it was Robert, it would be a Roger. We're still working on names from spirit, but I need to pass over these 2 names here as well. I've also got a Carol coming in. She feels, not Carol, the name Carol's coming in is what I'm feeling. So I just need to pass over the name Carol to you. These are just names. And your dad was right. Right, well, Dad's doing quite well. Brilliant. Thank you, sir. I have got the name Carol to pass over to you. Your dad is just sitting there and he's just kind of really just not checking me out, but he's sort of figuring out how I work and this whole mediumship side of it. Right, okay, let's come through, sir. Right, somebody's been talking about doing somebody's helped somebody move, or they're helping somebody do some work in the house, because he's talking about how he likes that the family are putting together and somebody's doing the moving. So I don't know if you're giving support to somebody who's doing some moving or decorating, or a friend or a family member is, but he talks about somebody getting the house straight. I want to be putting things in order as well. So he recognises, just to show that he is around. Now, if this isn't you, it would be somebody that you know, that you love, and he could connect to. But I know I need to. Your daughter's moving. Okay. It's just I want to be out and I want to be helping. It's just little things to show you that they haven't left us. As Peter said, they're still around us, but they just kind of throw things in there. Right, although somebody's got loads of books, somebody's got a stack of books I need to sort out, because he's chuckling. He's like, they've got to work out what they do and don't want with these books. So it's like, do I take them to charity? Do I get rid of them? Because he's chuckling. He's like, there's this stack of books. He said to me, they've got to get through these stack of books. So I don't know if it's your daughter moving or whether you've got a bit of a love for books, because he's just talking to me about someone's got to get through these stack of books. As I was asking, I said to your lovely dad, Robert, I went, are we talking about, do you like books? And he was like, no, I like the crossword. So he is not a problem about the books. Don't worry about it, Fiona. You may well find that somebody says to you, I've got a load of these books, what do I do with them? But I asked, was he liking books? And he said, no, his thing was crosswords. He liked crosswords. If it wasn't crosswords, it's Sudoku, but I can see the black and white and I can see the squares. And I asked him, and he was like, it's crosswords and it's Sudoku is what he's passing over to you. Right, okay. I've also got to give you the name. Right, it feels like, okay, all right, okay. And I've got the name. Sorry, I do apologise. It's when they give me names that sound like flowers or months, because I've got June to give to you. So I don't know if you can take the name June or whether you would take the month of June be important. But it's just talking to me about June being important. So I need to pass this over to you. I always am and ah about these ones because they are a little bit harder to understand. Okay, sir. Right. Right, what else is coming through for you, sir? Right. He's just giving me a feeling at the moment that although he said me, everything feels that not a problem about June. Don't worry, it could well be your daughter had something happens in June for your daughter. Because as I'm asking him a little bit more about what he's coming forward to, he just says to me, everybody feels a little bit on tender hooks at the moment. He says to me, it's a bit like not a simmering pot, but that's how it feels. It just feels like there's just a little bit of stress and worry around at the moment. And he says, I'm just coming in, he says to me, and I'm just keeping an eye on what's going on for you. He's okay, thank you. He said, you've took on a lot. Also, I feel like I've got 3 with you. He keeps telling me 3. Tell her 3, 3, 3. Now, I feel like we're talking about either 3 grandchildren or either 3 children, oh, but you can take it. 3 grandchildren or 3 children. But I just feel like at the moment it gives me a sense of you having to take on extra responsibilities. Oh, he said to me, and you're having to bite your tongue. He said to me, but you're managing it well, he said. And he said, he's coming in here just to give you that reassurance, because he says to me, he hasn't left you, he's keeping an eye on it. He said, but you're having to bite your tongue, but you're managing it well. You're managing it a lot better than you thought you would, is what he wants to come through and tell you. And he's just like, thank you. Okay, so come through. Right. What else do you want to say? It's so hard when it comes to emotions, because he's just coming in with a real reassurance for you. He said to me, you can manage this and handle this a lot better than you actually thought. And he's just coming through on a real reassurance line. Okay, sir. Right. This one, I'm not too sure whether he likes gardening, because I've just been given green. Now, sometimes green can mean no, I don't mean Gretna Green, sir. I know I didn't mean Gretna Green. I've got green. Now, I don't know if you're somebody's been looking to decorate or they're living near a green. I will pass this over to you for green to say I really don't know what green means, because it just came in, but I had to give you green. So I will pass it on to you with my hands up to say I'm not too sure what he means with green. What else would you? Oh, you love the gardening because it's green, because I just had green. Green, 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 green. Okay, now it's starting to sing to me. Right. Right. Somebody. I know I was married in Gretna Green. Oh, I'm so glad I said it, because I was about to go Gretna, as you heard. Oh, I'm so glad. This is why I give everything. Even when it sometimes tumbles out, I'm like, but I'm glad it made sense. The Gretna Green. I just knew green was really important to you. Right. Thank you, sir. Somebody's talked about, is it sweet peas or busy lizzies? There's I don't know sweet peas. I'm not a gardener, but I've got something to do with the importance of sweet peas. Okay, a trailing flower, a plant that goes across the garden, because it's just like forget me nots, and I don't know if sweet peas grow, but these are the 2 things he told me about. Somebody's been talking about gardening and the Gretna Green, the sweet peas or busy lizzies. So I will pass them bits over to you, because obviously we've done well with Gretna Green. Dad, is there anything else you want to pass over to Fiona before we close our connection with you, sir? Right. Oh, your daughter loves sweet peas. Oh, I'm glad that makes sense to you, Fiona. Right, sir. He just wants to say for you, all right, thank you. He just went, tell her to breathe. Now, I don't know whether the same for him. Near when he passed, he struggled to breathe. Spirit generally don't put their impressions upon me of how they passed, because I told him I don't like it. But I just was told to take a deep breath, and he made me take a deep breath. But he gives me this as being a meaning for you. Just keep breathing, take deep breaths. And for him, he can now breathe. Obviously, they're in spirit, so they're not in that sense. But I just want to come forward and just say to you, take a deep breath. And for him, he's able to breathe clearly. All of any constructions he had regarding his breathing, that's gone. But for you, it's just, Fiona, take a deep breath. Right, Sarah, is there anything else? No, he said, I've done now. He said, I've said what I need. I've said my piece. He said, I've said what I needed to say. He said to me, I'll pop by again, Fiona. And I wouldn't use the terminology, but he just said to you to tell you God bless. Now, I don't know whether that was a terminology you would use, but it is just God bless. It is, and I just want to throw the kisses out to you from your lovely dad. And with that, I will close your connection and say thank you so much for your allowing me to connect with your lovely dad and for feeding back. I do appreciate it. Right, okay, let's move on to the next person. Right, Spirit, where are we going? Right, April Louise Bolton, I'd like to come to you if that's okay. I know you've obviously commented, but as good practice when I work in spiritual centres, I always say, is it okay for me to come to work with you? But I thank you. Right, so April Louise Bolton, I'd like to come to you. As I'm connecting and I've got this, the first thing is I'm rubbing my hands. Right, I need to, hello, my lovely. I need to just acknowledge rubbing the hands for the moment until the woman, I've noticed Spirit kind of give me a bit of an impression first before they tell me who they are. Right, come through. This is a lady that I'm making a connection to, and I want to be with Mum. Now, I will ask, is Mum with you? Again, I only ask that question because I always worry about upsetting and offending anybody. So I will ask, is Mum with you? If it's not Mum, it would be Mum's mum. But this lady suffered with cold hands because I've got really, really cold hands. Okay, you have no idea. Okay, right, that's not a problem. Right, what I always say is if you're not too sure about the connection with who I'm chatting to, sometimes it's the message we need to hear rather than the connection. But I will say I've got about cold hands here. I've got this lady, she's giving me an impression of having cold hands. Right, okay. Oh, we don't know about Mum. All right, it's not a problem. She doesn't speak to you. Okie dokie. Right, okay, so what I will do is I'm still going to work with this lovely lady because she gives me a maternal feeling. So if you can't make the connection to Mum, I'm not going to try and change it and say, oh, it's this and that and everything. There's just a lady in a feeling that comes across as being very maternal towards you or looked after you in a motherly form. But I'll carry on with the message. But I know I've got cold hands, so I don't know if it's you that's got cold hands or whether it's got this lady who's got cold hands, but I know I've got cold hands going on and I need to rub my hands. Right, okay. Right, as I'm making this connection with this lady, I need to give you the name John. I know that's a traditional old name, but I need to pass over the name John to you. Okay, what else other name would you want to pass over? Oh, you've got the cold hands. Okie dokie, we're picking up the cold hands. Oh, brilliant. I'm rubbing them all together. I know how it feels, but I know I've got to give you the name John. Okay. I also need to give you the name Mark. So I've been asked to pass over the name Mark. I will say Spirit and I are still having conversations on which side, up there or down here, but I know I need to give you Mark as well. Right, okay. And I've also got to give you the name Daniel. So I've got these three names to pass over to you. Right, come through and tell me. Right, I've either you've done your hair or somebody's had something wrong with their hair because my hair feels all like it's out of place at the moment. So I just feel like there's a little bit of either someone's had their hair done and it's just to show you that you're around. Okay, Mark died the other week. Okie dokie. Right, my friend Mark died out. Okay, so we know. I knew Mark was important. Right, okay. Come through then. And you're growing it, so you're the hair. Right, okay. Right, as I know now you've said Mark's passed over, so thank you for giving me this confirmation, but as he comes through. Now, what I do need to do, and what this person's done, because my energies are shifting, and I feel like Mark is with me, but I obviously will give you the evidence to show that Mark is with me rather than just me saying it. But the first thing I've done is I've rolled my sleeves up. So I'm rolling my sleeves up is what I'm getting here. And it's like I'm rolling my sleeves up and he's giving me this energy. Oh my days, he talks 10 to a dozen is how he's talking to me. He's just like blah, 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 blah. And he's just talking about, right, okay. He's also talking about that the darkness has lifted with this gentleman. So I don't know how he passed or whether he felt a bit dark or he struggled near to his passing, because he just told me the darkness is lifted. He's like, hello. And he feels, thank you, sir. He's always getting really excited, bless him. But he's like, obviously, he's just telling me it's all lifted. All this darkness has lifted. He feels so much more brighter, and I feel like I've got bright eyes, and I'm like, I can see clearly now. So there is a feeling around this gentleman that there was some struggle. Now, okay, he passed suddenly. I'm just so much but I tell you how I feel. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and he is relieved is what he's passing over to me, April. And this is the first thing he wants to come through to tell you. So he's feeling like I'm feeling better. I'm feeling lifted. I'm feeling brighter. Oh, I don't know why. Okay, you can have this one. I'm doing really well not singing at the moment. Right, I don't know somebody like the Bee Gees, April, because I've got night fever, night fever. Keep on fever. I don't know the rest of the ones. I could just hear night fever. Now, it's the energy he's giving me. Now, what I always say with songs is, if you can't take the song, that's fine. All I say is just keep it in your back of your mind, because you might find you're on the radio. Next thing you know, you hear this song and you're like, I know that's my lovely Mark with me. Right, if you can give me confirmation on where I am in my life. Right, okay. Now, it's always a little bit hard when it comes to things like this. Not being, we were both singers. Right. Trying to do the conversation that way, because obviously our lives are free will, and what the decisions we make now can alter if other people change our views. But the way he's given me feeling is the first thing he wanted to do is give you reassurance that he's over here. Right, okay. Right. There's also been I know you said about both being singers, but there's something about a change in the band, or somebody's talked about a band, or I don't know if that makes sense to you, or whether you was in a band with this gentleman, because I've got the band, right? And also you can go solo. So I know you said you're both singers, so I will put my hands up and say I know that's where we got the Bee Gees from. But he's talking about the band and going solo is what he says to me. Right, okay, don't worry about the band. It was just that I had a lot of loud music around me, but there is a feeling of going solo and going forward on your own. Right, okay, he says to you, right, he says to me, right, okay, so he says to me, she can do it on her own. So I've got you feeling, the way he's giving me a feeling, he's like, he said to me, you can do it on your own. So there is a sense of you making a choice or a decision or somewhere going forward where you have to do it solo. And he's like, you can do it. You can do it on your own. Okay, right. He says, well, you've been making most of the decisions anyway. So he says to me, she says to me, she makes all the decisions in the first place. She makes all the decisions in there. Right. He says to me, she's nifty and she's thrifty. He said to me, and she knows. She said, you've got a logical, practical mind. However, he said to me, you need to make sure that your heart is not overruling your head. He said to me, because she's got a practical mind, you're nifty and you're thrifty. He said to me, but you need to make sure that you're not letting your heart and your head rule. He says to me, because sometimes to me she turns herself upside down, inside out. So it's just to let you know that you can do this on your own. Although he's not going anywhere, apparently. He told me that I'm still going to annoy her. Right, okay, thank you, sir. Right, this is one for you to hold so you will know, because he gives me a feeling that he's a bit of a joker. Because he's like, I'm going to just make things a little bit more challenging or make you know. I've got the TV flickering. So just be aware of either hearing the electronics going on, or it is something for you to hold, to know that he is around you. You may well find next thing you know that the radio station's changed, or I don't know, okay. I don't know if you've got a Ring doorbell and next thing you'll know it's the doorbell rings he's going to use electronics to make sure he interacts with you, because he was a techie. He's just said to me he liked technology. So he says to me just to be around, because he's laughing, because he's like, I'm going to keep her on her toes. So, okay, sir. He is coming through so much brighter. That darkness that he felt, it's gone. So as much as I know you see past sudden, it's just like I just went dark and he's no longer there. But he is still saying he's going to keep you going on. Right, okay. Why do you want to give that to me, sir? I think because you just keep wanting to have a good old laugh with me. There's a joke around bananas, April. I do not know what this is about bananas. He went, just tell her about bananas. So he's just laughing. I'm sure he's laughing at my expense about passing over bananas to you. I am going to say I haven't got a clue what he's talking, but I hope it makes sense to you. You're laughing, so now you're laughing at me as well. So between both of you, we're having a good old giggle. Oh, all between three of us. Right, okay, so just give me a couple of months so she knows where. Right, okay. He talks to me about November. Now, I've got the 14th, so I will give you the month of November as a birthday, passing, or anniversary, and I was given the 14th. So, the 14th, again, we're still working. They keep giving me the month and a date, not the right way round. So if the 14th of November doesn't resonate to you, but you know what November is and you know what the 14th is, and they're two separate things, then by all means play it, because they're still not working with me on that one. I swear Spirit like to make me work. Okay, what else do you want to pass? I've also got a Simon. Simon. Oh, November, yes, brilliant. Okay, thank you. Simon? Yeah. Oh, I've not had a Simon before. I've not had that name. So he's just given me, tell her about or Simon. 14th is his birthday. Well, he would do, wouldn't he? He would give me the 14th as a date for himself, because he's just chuckling around you. Right. Okay. So anything else for the lovely April? He's on one now. He's like, I'm gonna stay and have a chat. Don't worry about Simon. You may well find that there's somebody later down the line becomes a friend or someone that helps you, and their name is Simon. You can know he's around you. But he would have me chatting now for England. He's got his feet under my table and he's ready to chat away. But he just wanted to know that you can go solo, and you've been making all these decisions anyway. And it's just to be brave and just carry on with yourself. My lovely, you have just told him. I have so many people say to me, could you say, you've just done it. You have done it, my lovely, and he isn't going anywhere. And just be warned, I think you're going to have a few electronic little tinkering away. But I know he's around you and all our families, and I will close the connection and say thank you so much for allowing me to connect with your lovely cheeky friend. And I shall say thank you very much, April. Right, hello everybody that's been joining us. Lovely to see you. As you can see on my little banner, I'm Claire, and I'm just working in various ways of mediumship to bring your past loved ones through. Right, okay, let's come forward with Maya Thomas. Maya, I'd like to come to work with you, if that's okay. I know that's the answer is yes, but as I said, I always like to ask, because it is good practice when you're on a face-to-face. So Maya, I'd like to come to you and work with you, please. Maya, as I am making the connection and as your lovely family members step forward, I've got a gentleman. Yay, bless you. I get excited as well. I've got a granddad coming through, and you keep doing this to me, Spirit. I've got to give you a granddad in spirit, and the first thing I've got is I've got carrots. So I don't know whether granddad had an allotment or grew carrots, or whether you need to go to the opticians, because I don't know why. He just told us, tell her carrots. Again, it can just be that you've been having a conversation and trying to get someone to eat some peas and carrots, but I just got to give you carrots. So first of all, I do feel like granddad's in spirit, and I had to give you carrots. I hope that makes sense. Right, where else do you want to come through by just throwing me carrots? Right. Granddad, haha, because my daughter loves carrot. Oh, brilliant. Excellent. Your granddad. I'm glad. But do you know how your granddad come in? He come in, he was like, he just strolled in and he went, I want to chat to Maya. And he's a very, very laid back gentleman. His energy is laid back. He's a bit like, hello, Okay, thank you. He just said, hello, kiddo. Now, terms of endearment, if kiddo's not the terminology he would use, it would be a terms of endearment, because he's just gone, hello, kiddo, and he's come through with this one. Okay, so we just passed over that bit, but I just like to recognise that energy around you. Right, your granddad's also just placing a flat cap on my head. So I feel like either made sure he always walked around with a hat on his head. Why do I make my hair go flat? But I need to... Brilliant, strolling in. Yeah, it is that way, and I've got a flat cap going on, so I've got a bit of a flat. She says a flat cap. Right, Granddad is telling me he's gasping for a cup of tea, because he's just made my mouth feel really dry, and it's not water, it's a cup of tea. So Granddad, and there's somebody that likes 2 sugars in their tea. I don't know if that was Granddad, because he went a cup of tea and then 2 sugars. So again, I don't know if it was whether he likes 2 sugars in his tea or somebody's got a sweet tooth. Crikey, 2 sugars, sir. But that's what I've got straight away. I've just got to tell him, I've got a dry mouth because I want a cup of tea. Granddad has also putting my hand on my hip, so he gives me a feeling that he would like, as much as we talked about him being quite relaxed, his stance was, and he passed it on to me. Oh, I'm a tea lover as well, but I've also got my hand on my hip, so I've just got the way he just comes through is he's a bit like, hello, you're right. And I want to use, now they give me, everybody in the world is Essex, by the way, so I do apologise. I want to use the word cocker. Now, that's the wording he gave me, but sometimes when I get my strong Essex accent on, it's to just give me a feeling that he had a very strong local accent. Now, obviously, cocker, I think, is London, but I've got a terminology of using a strong local accent. Now, as I said, everybody's Essex in my world. I do apologise for everybody that's not in Essex, but it's for me to pick up. So he's got a strong accent is what he's giving me through. Right, okay, turns kettle on. Yeah, London. Oh, brilliant. There we got that part as well. Okay, thank you, sir. Right. Again, he's Granddad like. Thank you, sir. He's telling me he misses as in body, and he spoke like that. Oh, brilliant. Your granddad's brilliant. I love him. I love everybody who comes in spirit. But as much as he is in body, he's not here. He still loves a good old roast. And somebody else loves a roast dinner, roast beef, roast potatoes. We've got the gravy and things, and he's like, he still enjoys that, even obviously they're in spirit and they're not got a body anymore. That's what he misses. He misses, and thank you, and he misses that Sunday dinner feel about the family. And he said to me, this is what he likes, and he said, it's brilliant, thank you. But he said it isn't just about the rope. He said it's about having everybody around the table and just having a good old natter. Right. He also said he liked a rhubarb crumble. Now, if it isn't rhubarb crumble, it is a crumble, but we are talking crumble and custard, because there's something apple rhubarb crumble. He's just, I don't know why, they used to give me food all the time, but the way he's coming through is for you. He wants you to have the childhood comforts. He says to me, and he enjoys seeing you recreating your own childhood comforts with the family. Because he said it gives him nothing more than pleasure to see, he's getting me all emotional now, to see you trying. You love rhubarb crumble, your granddad's brilliant. He's making me really emotional, because he doesn't make me feel that he was somebody that would share his emotions in tears and like that, but it's the feeling of him. And he's like, to see that the family, to see that you're creating the same family memories. And somebody's talked about it at Christmas as well, recreating something for Christmas. You're either going to do something that you used to do as a kid, because it brings him such pleasure to see that you and your brother, if it's not your brother, it'd be a brother-in-law, but I'm not stretching to that. It just felt like a Mal copying or recreating that family. And it just gives him so much pleasure to see that the family are still doing or wanting to do the same things. And there's somebody who's talked about recreating Christmas again. It's like, we're going to make Christmas like it used to be. Right, okay. However, somebody's always going to cheat at cards, and he's just given me somebody cheated at rummy. As I follow, okay. It was take. Ah, okie dokie. Right, so that's just again to show you he's around you. He hasn't got anywhere. But yeah, somebody cheats at cards. He went, that's still going to happen. And he's laughing. So somebody's picked that up and he's cheated at cards, is what he said. Oh, and somebody, a Scrabble as well. He said, you can't use the city. Somebody likes using the silly words like in and out. Because he said there's a joke around about, and she cheats on cards. Excellent. Because he's like, that hasn't changed. And he said, he's just come in tonight. Because he said it's Sunday. He was like, he would have had his roast. He said it's Sunday. He said to me, and I've just come in just to say to Maya, hi. He has so much pleasure over there. He said, because I get to watch them all now. I get to see them all now. Thank you, sir. He said, because near to the end, I didn't get to see them all. So there's a feeling around the family that he didn't get round to everybody, or not everybody got to see him, because he's like, I'm up there now. Remember, we all go up. He said, and I get to see them all. And he has so much pleasure seeing the family grow. And he is just popped in because it was Sunday. He said, I would have seen her over on a Sunday. And that's why he's just coming for you. And there isn't a massive Sunday he'd make his way. Oh, bless him. It's just to come in and say hello. It's Sunday. I've come and done my rounds. But he is so chuffed. Sometimes our messages aren't always needing to be big things. They are just to give us a smile and just to sort of say they're over there. And with that, as much again, a bit about a lovely other lady's friend that would chat to England. Your granddad would be here the whole entire time. I am going to close your connection because it was just to say I'm here. I've come and popped in to say hello, and I'd like to move on to somebody else. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, he's just coming to say hello. It's Sunday. Why not? Why wouldn't he? He's like, but anyway, so stop talking to me. God, your granddad keep on going. Right, so I'm going to have to say goodbye to you. You can hang around by all means and sit over there if you wish. So I'd like to make another connection. Right, thank you, sir. He's just gone, bye, love. He's gone, and it's L-U-V, not L-O-V-E. It's like, bye, love. He's gone. But your granddad's still sitting around in this room with me anyway. So I shall say thank you so much, Maya, for letting me make your connection. He was just such a lovely energy. But yeah, he's sitting over there. He's going to keep an eye on me, apparently. Right, okay, I'd like to come to somebody else, please. So by all means, Phil, you're more than welcome to put your comments through, and let's come through to a next person. Right, Rebecca Jane, I'd like to come to you now, you're so welcome, Maya. I'd like to come to you now, as I said, I will keep saying it because sometimes we jump in. I ask, is it okay for me to work with you? I know the answer is yes, because obviously you commented. But Rebecca Jane, I'd like to come to you if that's okay. Right, okay. Hello. Right, okay. As I'm making the connection, I've got a lady with me now. She does come through as a mum. If it isn't mum, it would be mum's mum, but I feel like I'm on a motherly vibe. So I will ask his mum in spirit, because as you know, that's the one question I always worry about. But whilst you're commenting and confirming, I'll still carry on with your lovely lady. I need to recognise a family name down the line. Now, a lot of times spirit will remind me, and I'm not cheating, I'm not saying surname, that would be an easy peasy one. But either you've got Nan's name in spirit and you've got Nan's, or somebody's got your name. I know I need to recognise the names coming down the family line. It feels more family, but I need to just recognise this for you, Rebecca. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. But mum's okay, she's mum's spirit, so it is Nan. Okie dokie. But I know I want to recognise something coming down. Right, okay. Something else as it's coming down the family line is somebody's got Nan's. I tell you what it feels like. I've got a told wristwatch. A wristwatch, yeah. I knew I wasn't going to be able to say it. It's a double use. A wristwatch is what I want to. No, but the one I've got is like the real diddy little tea ones. That I think they were called tea watches. I think they were very, very delicate. But there is about somebody having a watch from people in spirit down here, and she likes how somebody's recently looked at it. Now it is a watch. I'm not going to change it to a ring or anything else like that. If it's not the lady in spirit, I do know that somebody's had a watch and they've been looking at their past loved ones' jewelry. Okay, right, she likes, and she's chuckling that somebody's gone into a full spring clean. Okie dokie, yeah, hold it. It's just that it may well be that mum's been talking about looking at her jewellery or looking at family, but somebody's had a big old spring clean and she's like, glad that happened. So I don't know whether you're the one that has been sorting out, helping mum sort her place out, but it's like it's about time, and somebody's had a really good strong clean, and she's like, because your lovely Nan was okay, thank you, she tells me she was a very very particular. It's like Monday jobs with this, Tuesday jobs with that, Wednesday's jobs with that. So this lady she's coming through is very particular. I don't know, I've recently had, and I've been sorting it, and you've been doing a clean. Just little ways to show you that she's around you. Okay, so just little ways to show you around you. Right, I asked Nan, like, why is she coming? Okay, thank you for giving me that. Whoop, I do apologise, I've just pulled my earphone out. There we go. Sorry, she's just making me feel like somebody's got a neck ache or something like that, or somebody's feeling. I mean, my mum ought to say, okay, you're all to say, I wish I was a bit more organised. I'm a Virgo, I should be, but I need to recognise. And then it's like, move on, next bit. So very much, but I've got neck ache at the moment. Somebody's got some pressure, or they feel like they've got the world on their shoulders at the moment, because she is just kind of coming through here, and she's just giving a little bit of healing around you. Now, if it's not you, it is a female, so it does feel like it's either you or your daughter. And I want to give some healing here. Oh, I love a list, definitely, Rebecca. Your Nan, oh, you can take that. Your Nan's funny because I like a list. I may not necessarily be thing, but I like a list, and so does Nan. And I just want to recognise this. Oh, right. And I've got a neck ache. Right, okay. Nan, come talk to me about some months. Okay, apparently March is important. She went to me, tell her March is important. Birthday, party, or anniversary. So I need to tell you March, because we're now moving on to dates. And Nan had a nice list. She tells me somebody has either talked about getting an address book where they put all the dates and the names in there, or somebody's found their old address book. But it's like Nan would have had one as well, right? An address. And also somebody's been looking at the pictures, and somebody's also been looking at the dates, because I've got, again, if that doesn't make sense, hold it. She's jumping at me. She's getting really excited now. So we're kind of bouncing all over. Let's do one thing at a time, Nan. Right. Yeah, we'll do the dates, and then we'll go back to the property. Your Nan's like, she's got excited, that's why. So she's like, say all these things, I've got a short period of time. Right, Nan, let's do it a bit slowly. Right, dates. I know I gave you the first month, I know, but okay, and I'm really glad you can take all this brilliant, Rebecca, but the dates. What else month do you want to give me? This month's important, birthday, party, and anniversary, and I've just been told the 18th. So I don't know if it was September the 18th, birthday, party, and anniversary, or whether we're talking September and then 18th, both of them being different dates with birthday, party, and anniversaries, because she's just recognised September and then the 18th as well. Right, okie dokie. There's also an October one as well, birthday, party, and anniversary. So I know I've just given them 3 months over. Right. Nan, let's now get to the address book. Right. I'm just trying to get it to let me calm down a bit. Normally I can walk this energy off, but obviously sitting here it's a bit different. She's given me an imagery of an address book, and I've got somebody has either talked about getting an address book, or they are talking about, or they've pulled out an old one, or Nan has one. It's like past. Nan having an address book with all the dates written down, and somebody's talked about doing the same thing. I don't feel like anybody's found Nan's one, but it is the same, or it's the same. So 2 different people, the same thing, because she's talking about this. But somebody has looked at photos, and at the back of the photos there's been the year or the date on the back of the photos, and again somebody's talked about that. Now, if that isn't to do with you, then just hold on to it, because it could well be that you'll find that somebody says to you, oh look, I'm looking at some lovely pictures, and here they are. Right, okay, is there anything else you want her to come from? What's your message for you, lovely? Right, right, as she's coming through, I asked her what her message was for you, and she's just coming through to just sort of say, chin up, Rebecca. And I have to use your full name. I went, is it Becky or Beck? She went, no, it's Rebecca. So she would very much, if you had the name Rebecca, you would call Rebecca. but it is about giving you a chin up at the moment. She says, just tell her chin up at the moment. Right, okay. Right, she says to me, she sees that you're being pulled which way and every way is what she's telling me. So she gives me a feeling that and tells me that you're being pulled from every angle at the moment. May not necessarily be like you get inundated information, but or a feeling of being pulled which way and everywhere, because she just wants to recognize this and she sees that around you. But it is a chin up for you. Right, okay, through there. She is around mum at the moment. She's around mum a lot, and just you may find that mum has spoken or mum sees mum. So sees your nans, because she's just talking to me that she's been around mum at the moment a lot. Okay. And she just talks to me that she understands the pressures that you're upon. So I don't know whether you've been helping to look after mum, whether you and mum have been doing lots of things, but she just recognises it is about giving you some upliftment here. She is around mum, and you might find that mum's already said, I've seen your mum, or she's talking to your nan, because she's just telling me around it. Right, okay. Is there anything else? Again, she has just come in, like I find with a lot of lovely people in spirit, they come in just because it's their opportunity to say hello. Oh, brilliant. To say hello. And because we don't get to do it every day. And sometimes it doesn't have to be big messages. For her, it's about you, giving you just a little bit of a, okay, she's given me the song that always I get Lean on Me, which is one of my favourite songs. Okay, you've never met her. She's around you, and it is a lean on me when you're not strong. So it's just to know them moments when you feel if you feel lonely or you feel like you're not getting supported, she is around you, giving you that little nudge and upliftment. And with that, I will close her connection, just so hopefully I should be able, just looking at my time, just so I can do one more person. Okay, so Rebecca, thank you so much for allowing me to work with you. Your lovely nan hasn't gone anywhere. She's sat over the other side as well, so she's staying around. They all stay, even though they've gone, but I've stopped talking to them. They still sit round because they get to watch. Right, okay, I'm just going to come to one more person because I'm conscious of our time. Right, I'd like to come to Jacqueline Ann Forrester. So Jacqueline Ann Forrester, I'd like to come to you. I hope that's okay. I know you said yes, but I hope it's okay for me to come to you. Right, Jacqueline, I've got thank you. I'm loving this yard stream. It's amazing. I wish this was like on my own Facebook page. I love it. Okay, Jacqueline, I'd like to come to you. Good evening. Hello. Hope you are well. Right, I've got two people in spirit, but I feel like as I'm coming forward, I feel like I've got Dad in spirit. I tell you what, I feel like I've got a mum. And I feel like I've got Dad. If I haven't got mum and dad, I'd have mum in spirit, but I'd have a granddad. I'm on Dad's side. But the gentleman is stepping more forward than this lady. So I will ask, is your dad in the spirit world? Because this is the energy he's given me. So I will ask that one. But whilst you're validating, I will carry on with this. Right, as he's coming forward with I've got somebody who's got leg troubles. Either he had leg troubles, this gentleman in spirit, or I've got leg troubles is what I need to recognise. So I don't know whether this is either mum's still here, dad's in spirit. Okie dokie, thank you. Right, then that would be that. I just knew I had a lady in spirit, but I didn't, and that sounds really bad. I didn't want to work with her. She's not pressing her energies on me, in other words. She's like, get this gentleman through. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll work with Dad. Thank you, sir. Right, as I've got this, okay, you're giving me tingly legs. I do have, so either Dad had troubles with his legs or somebody has got their trouble with their legs. I feel like it is my left leg, but sometimes it goes down my right leg. So I just need to recognise my left leg and my right leg, but I feel like I've got a bit more discomfort in my left leg. Had troubled legs. Okie dokie, thank you. That's just giving me a bit of my validation. Right, so come and give me, I need to give you the name George, and these are really old-fashioned names, but okay, I'll pass them over. I need to give you the name George, and I need to give you the name William. However, I feel like it would have been more a Will or a William or a Bill, but I know I need to pass over George, and I need to pass over William. We'll go with William. It would have been abbreviated, but I know I need to pass over these two names over to here. Right, okay, now I stay away from the Second World War and the wars because it's not an easy thing to do. But if spirit presses, because I keep getting my sign, which is I'm a Grand Old Duke of York, so I need to recognise a military background. Now, if this isn't Dad, this would be Granddad, but I need to recognise about the family and there being a period of service. If it isn't military, somebody in the police force, but there is about a military service. Just need to acknowledge it, because it was important to the family, to yourself or the family. So I just need to recognise this as being here. Right, okay. It's just something a little bit extra. Right, so come and give me some. We had some months. We have some months, sir? Dad was in Navy. Okay, thank you. Thank you. For me, I get old, the Grand Old Duke of York, and that just means military service. Okay, isn't it? He keeps tapping me on the shoulder. It keeps tapping me on the shoulder with you, Jacqueline. So I don't know whether, and I keep wanting to do this. So I don't know whether this would be a habit that your dad, if he used to pass you, used to tap you on the shoulder, or whether you sometimes feel like a tingly or like somebody's on your shoulder, because he's just tapping you on my left shoulder. I know it might reverse on here, but I've got a tap. Right, okay. It's something he's making me do, and I need to pass over everything as he does through to you. Right, okay. Right, next thing, I feel like I've got a really dry mouth with this gentleman. I could do with a cup of tea, but it's this gentleman. It makes me feel like somebody here isn't drinking as much water. I know we're all naughty and all naughty of that at times, but he's talking to me about having a dry mouth. So he wants just to recognise about somebody needing to drink a bit more down here, or they're getting told off they're not drinking enough water. Right, okay. Now it's taking me back to food. I've got another one that wants to give me food. Somebody likes pie and mash. I'm going pie and mash, and I've got peas. So I will pass that over to you to see whether that makes sense to you, Jacqueline. But somebody likes pie and mash. I know you don't. You're the okie dokie. You can take them bits. Right, your next one you got to come. It's pie and mash. So, Mum, I was like, he has to have peas, and I only ever like the smell of liquor, but I got told about pie and mash is really, really important. He just said to me about having pie and mash over and just chuckling it around to you. Right, okay, so what else? Right. He talks about that it's okay to stand up and stand up for what, stand up what's right for you is what he's telling me. He's taking me back to what I talked about in my address about staying within our own power, being us, sticking within our belief systems and going for it, and just knowing we've got friends and family around us supporting us. And he's just reminding me of that address at the beginning of our service here, talking about for you to sort of say it's okay to stand up and stand your ground, because he gives me a feeling that you've got somebody around you that is either being challenging or isn't just being as helpful as they should be. Dad doesn't give me that feeling of the type of words he would have used, but we're obviously in service and we're going down the polite route. But Dad is talking about it's okay for you to stand your ground and stay in your power, but somebody's not being as helpful as they should do. Right, okay, so you want to acknowledge that for the lovely Jacqueline. Right, okay. I need to also give you the name, Peter. I know we've had that today. I need to give you the name Peter, and I need to give you Frank. Not a lovely Frank in service, but I know I need to give you the name Peter, and I need to give you the name Frank as well for you. Right, okay, thank you, sir. Again, now I've just been given the imagery of rainbows. Now, I don't know if somebody works in the NHS or in that caring industry. I will pass that over to you, but I've got a double meaning with my rainbow today, because he talks about how you'll know that he's around you when you start seeing rainbows. Now, I always tell everybody, don't look for them, because if we look for them, they don't, you're caring for your mum, so you're the carer. Hold the rainbows, because it will be things like a light will blast on the window and you'll see a rainbow, or you'll walk down. Somebody loves garden centres, because he went to me, she'll see him in the gardens. Oh, okay, thank you. Oh, okay. He's got excited now. All right, here we go, sir. Right, here we go. Somebody loves garden centres. They'll see, and it is something for you to hold, but somebody still likes garden centres. Now, you're the garden centre. Somebody, you're the guy. You obviously said you like garden centres, and he did too. Oh, brilliant. Because I'm getting really excited about going to a garden centre at the moment. But it's the aisle where they have, like, like the wind chimes, or the ones where you have the what would you describe it? Yeah, it's like a wind chime, but you have the internal ones where you have the little glass crystal labras spinning around, and you see all the rainbows effect. And I feel like either you or your dad loved walking down that aisle, and like your dad liked the wellies, your dad liked the tools and the wellies and things like that, and he's just like, oh, you love them, oh right. He said to me, when she walks down there, he said to me, and you see all them flashes of rainbows, he said, that's him around you, because he's coming through that energy. And if there's one in the house, again, don't look for it. Just know that when you do see them type of rainbows where the colours flash on the wall, it's just to show you that he's around you, because he's just given me these rainbows for you. And it is just that the lights flickering everywhere. Just so magical is what he said, and he just liked the magic of it. Right, okay. Is there anything else for you, for the lovely Jacqueline, for your daughter, before we move over, sir? Right, I need to tell. I keep getting February and March as either birthday parties or anniversaries, but I don't know whether Dad wasn't well in the February and passed in the March, or whether there was somebody wasn't well in the February and it got resolved in the March. I keep having a crossover between the February and the March, so I'll pass that over to you, because it wasn't like I wanted to pinpoint to the February or pinpoint to the March. It felt like there was either somebody passed, but they were ill between 2 months. I will pass it over to you, because it keeps saying February, March, February, March, February, March. There isn't a distinction. So I will pass that over to you and say, I'm going to ask, I hope that makes sense to you, Jacqueline. But just know that they're all them little rainbows, and just stand up for what you know that's right. He says to me, because to me, you know you'll do it. You'll do it, as what I said earlier in the address. You will do it with a loving heart. Okay, so February, March, my husband wasn't well and passed. Right, okay, thank you. I just knew I had this February, and the March was really important. Okay, and it was a tricky one. Okay. Right, so I know you said about hubby. He's just wandered in. Your hubby was a bit of a wanderer. There is something about another person in spirit just wandering in, and I only tell you November's important. Birthday party and anniversary in November, so early November. But I am going to stop there and say thank you so much, Jacqueline, for allowing me to work with you. I'm just conscious of our time now. I hope that last bit made sense to you. And I would just say thank you to everybody that's come on here and shared your lovely energy. I do truly appreciate it. And okay.
Hello, Claire. No, sorry, go on.
No, that's okay. I was waiting for you, Rob.
Oh, I'm here. I'm back. Well, Claire, thank you so much for those lovely messages. We do have Frank's cards coming up shortly, 3 cards for the week. But Claire, Pamela was asking about your Facebook page. I think it's Heavenly Sprinkles, isn't it? Is that your?
That's me. Yeah.
I'll post that into the comments here. Then obviously people can connect with you there.
Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, you just see my ugly mug going like that, so you know it's me with my smile on the picture.
Lovely. Well, look, we'll come back to you for the closing prayer shortly, if that's all right.
Okie dokie. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Okay, friends. Well, great to have so many of you on tonight, and a really lovely evening we've had with Claire there. Let's go over to Frank for his 3 cards. So every week, Frank from our church draws 3 oracle cards to give you something for the week ahead. Obviously, our mediums can't get round to everyone, unfortunately, with a direct message. But you can take something away from these cards. Each one's marked with a crystal at the start. So just feel the one that you're drawn to. And let's see what Frank has for us this week.
Evening. First crystal this evening is the rose quartz. With that goes the card for the deer mouse. This little mouse is all about focusing on detail, thinking of the future and keeping everything tidy and just so, and providing a constructive feedback. The deer mouse asks you to put a little structure around yourself at this time. He compassionately informs you that haphazard creation can quickly turn into chaos. Have you thought through all the possible outcomes of your plans? Or are you overanalyzing? Perhaps this is a time to reevaluate. It's definitely time to get organised. This card also indicates you have great leadership skills and may need to take charge of situations. The truth about this card is that the mouse is all about detail. Our little friend is always thinking ahead, and by storing away what he needs for the future, he keeps things in order. He remains focused on the larger picture as well, without skipping any necessary steps. He is very orderly in his life. He has the ability to do great things, as indeed you do. He is highly resourceful and prolific, therefore making sure his plans come to fruition, even if he himself cannot complete them, and thereby asks you to be prepared to hand the task to someone else or seek help when needed. By planning responsibly, you yourself will have the same success that our mouse has. Dear Mice is also very concerned about his own cleanliness. They like their fur to be perfectly groomed and neat and kind and tidy. And they say to you, remember, you only get one shot at making a first impression. So make sure you are prepared. Our second crystal is the Citrine, and with that goes the card for the Siamese cat. This cat is about dependence upon others, being very vocal, and having fear and worry about not having one's needs met. This card indicates a false sense of entrapment that may come from being over-focused on material things, or a frantic desire to accumulate wealth that can in fact ensnare you into a state of fear and worry. You may then repeatedly verbalise those negative emotions, thereby creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the Siamese cat asks that you let go of guilt and have compassion for yourself and others. Free yourself from the notion that your life isn't your own, and shift from neediness to self-care. Often referred to as the royal cats of Siam, a country now known as Thailand, Siamese were at one time so revered that only royalty were allowed to own them. Siamese cats are charming animals, however they are a little more demanding than other cat breeds. They are very loving and playful, but also quite loud about communicating their desire and mimicking the sound of a baby crying rather than the meow we are used to. All cats have a tendency towards independence, but the Siamese has two traits that make them more reliant upon their humans. One being the pale colour of their coat, which provides them with poor camouflage and makes them open to predators. The other being their lack of night vision. Having once been more at the mercy of predators, the Siamese cat may be telling you that your fears are now holding you back unnecessarily. It is time to free yourself from the past, to free yourself on the things that have been constraining you and causing you anxiety and worry. And to ask for support from those around you and live a much better and happier life in the future. The third crystal is the Amethyst, and with that goes the card for the Gypsy Vena horse. This horse says it is a successful time for you and there is abundance around you and your prospects are good. It says everything is going to turn out perfectly for you now. You couldn't ask for more. Projects you've been working on will be a success and new opportunities are possible. Use your money and your resources that you have wisely by investing or saving them. Above all, make sure you stand up for what you know is right. This horse symbolises a person who is compassionate and accomplished, charismatic but grounded. He is fantastic with children. He is a good businessman who cares deeply for his causes, be they charitable or otherwise. Often the matters that he is most passionate about are connected with the animal world and kindness to them. He probably has all the important numbers he needs readily at hand for those people who can help him if he needs them. This horse is known for its beauty, sweetness and strength. It is the smallest of the draft horse breeds, and they represent the ability to accomplish a mission no matter what. So they are saying to you, you may feel you are less significant than others, or smaller than others, but you are of equal importance, and you can accomplish everything that everyone else can. This is a horse with a light golden coat, and the person represented by this card has a heart of gold and attracts richness and abundance. Likewise, you are currently in a time of prosperity. So use the blessings that you are being given to do great things for yourself, for the planet, and for people less fortunate than yourself. 3 lovely cards there tonight, I think. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Right, okay, let's go back to Claire then to close this service in prayer, and then we will have the closing Vesper play out. Thank you, Claire.
Hello, thank you. And thank you to Frank for his cards. So if I could ask you to just take yourself into quiet, that generally means you can bow your head, shake your arms, or just sit there in a period of peace. As we say, Dear Lord and Divine Spirit, we send our love, appreciation and thanks to you for helping to bridge this connection between the spirit world and our own. We send our love to our past loved ones for coming forward this evening, to providing comfort, love and upliftment to those here this evening, and to demonstrate there truly is life after life. I'll ask you just to take a moment to ask your family to come forward again, to help create a bubble of love and protection and healing. And I ask you to give some of this to yourself and to send the rest out to friends and family and to strangers who at the moment will be struggling. And although it is just healing, loving thoughts, for them to know that those are out there thinking of them, can mean the world to them at this moment of hardship. I also say to you, I hope you have an absolutely smashing week ahead. I hope that your challenges, you may arrive, you'll conquer. And I hope you will do it with a lovely smile and of grace. I shall say thank you for having me, and Amen.
Well, really big thank you to Claire for tonight's service here at Thundersley. First time that you've seen Claire online with us. I know you do other things online, Claire, but also you've been into church and done our coffee morning before. So check out our website to see when Claire's next with us in person. It's a lovely evening online. Thank you to Brenda Hodgson, who was our medium in church. You would have seen Brenda open up in prayer earlier. Thank you to Frank for chairing in church. Thank you to Peter for the Bible reading. Thank you again to Frank for his cards, as he does every week. Hope everyone has a great week ahead. And hopefully you can join us again next Sunday at 6:30 again. But until then, take care. Good night.